October 18, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Don't yell at me. Don't make fun of my stutter. Trying to be all fucking dun-dun about this.
Oh, it's all fine. I was recording my second poetry collection into an audiobook before we started today, and I was trying to go through the foreword, and I kept butchering one of the paragraphs. I was like, oh my god, what am I doing?
Mr. Will Powers killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in the Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime.
Hold on a minute there, Eddie.
Nice drum solo. Very well, I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well, I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. And if he gets it wrong again, I'm tarnishing his wages. Again.
Yes, he's going to be paying the police force money to be working there soon enough.
To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see, and the subtle nuances of tokusatsu as a genre, see. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 PM on that day. Past the security station there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. And there goes V. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 PM, the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead to later that day, 5 PM. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. The time of death was 2:30 PM. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case, in brief. Well, I mean, in brief, it was guy died at the end, but, you know.
Yeah, I think we can skip it. It was fundamentally not useful. The bit that I actually find interesting here, and it is something that I think in an actual murder trial, the language would be a lot more careful, because they wouldn't be able to say definitively that Studio 1 is the scene of the crime. It's where the body was found.
Yeah.
But because there is technically no evidence around that the murder took place there, you couldn't definitively state that. Same with the murder weapon. You can say we believe it to be the murder weapon.
I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Yes, go on.
But you can't say that it is the murder weapon because, you know, we're still in the case of figuring out facts.
No need to be embarrassed. You can just call me Grandma. Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their names.
I do feel sorry for Edgeworth in dealing with some of his witnesses, because, oh boy, they don't like to play ball, do they?
She brings up a good point. Like, that is a very weird name for a child to have. I'm young McOldston. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. Thank you, Judge. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony? Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, he was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony, and please, for the love of God, keep it brief.
I mean, yes, but also she is Wendy Oldbag. Nothing is ever brief with this woman. Indeed. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 PM. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5.
Now, the murder happened at 2:30 PM, right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 PM. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. I think the fuck not.
Agreed.
Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination. Yes, Your Honour.
There's a very specific statement where we can go, no.
I think not. That's useless, that's useless, that's useless, and I also don't care. Alright, getting a bit spicier. Okay, now I think we're making progress.
I'm sorry, how the hell did you know it was Powers? It's the Steel Samurai.
Let me get this straight, Oldbag. Miss Oldbag. Hard to believe you're not married. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly?
It's the Steel Samurai.
Pop culture, Your Honour. None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo-Old Tokyo. Miss Oldbag, is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right? No, they can't. Well, I mean, I wonder? Yeah, don't help us make our case, Edgeworth. It's easy enough as is right now. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. Ugh. I know that. I wasn't born yesterday. No, I think they just invented the wheel.
Just about, I think.
He's having trouble calling her Oldbag, apparently. Well, he's not a hypocrite, you know.
Yes, he knows that he too is rather on the elderly side.
Of course, I have proof. Uh-oh. What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised. The prosecution would like to ask the witness, please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look.
He's not wrong.
But at the same time, salary go down. Let's hear about your proof, then. This should be good. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now, look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg. See? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy?
Not sure I believe that one.
Yeah, need to do a bit more cross-examining here.
Yeah, it's a little bit of pressing, I feel.
I'll press her until she squeals. Phrasing. Okay, don't care. We already know this. We know he tripped and fell.
Hold it.
Yep, need a little bit more info here. He broke a prop?
Yes, which prop?
Sure did, his own samurai spear. His samurai spear. The murder weapon? Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it. This strikes me as a significant detail.
Strikes me too.
I better write this down in the court record. Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Just a little bit more here. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained? Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch. Thus, the nap.
Makes sense.
I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot. Okay. You can see he's dragging his leg. See? Clear as day. Let's go back a little bit here.
I think we want to sort of just maybe prod that morning.
Yes, trip and fall. Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? I kissed it where it hurt. Let's just skip over that part, shall we?
Agreed.
Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. You may continue your testimony. Alright, we know that. We know that.
Hold it.
Who was present at the run-through? This is important. Well, let's see. There was Powers, he's the Steel Samurai, then poor old Hammer, the evil magistrate, and me. And what exactly were you doing? Observing, just observing, aka not at your post. Oh, she was off moving backdrops around and such, that Penny. So she didn't see the run-through then? Alright, I think that's about all we got right here.
Yeah, I think we just cycle to the end.
I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honour? Well, there is one thing that bothers me. Which is... where is this Steel Samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. You couldn't find the costume that the murder victim was killed in.
Yeah.
Or supposedly wearing at the time.
Yes, it is rather suspicious if you ask me.
And it is clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Are you sure you're sure, Your Honour?
Object?
Of course. Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer.
I mean, this is correct.
Yes, we have to consider that possibility also. Nod, nod. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honour. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? More talking, don't mind if I do. Alright, what you gotta say? The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 PM, true? The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them.
Well, we know that that's bull.
Indeed. So, if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be the Steel Samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Alright, the facts, yes, that's true.
I think we've got a bit of evidence to counter this argument.
No one else went there, was it?
Because on the back of that photo, that was photo number 2.
Hold on. Look at this photograph. Every time, it makes me laugh. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sorry, Sonny. So, whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture? And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right, anyway. It's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Ooh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening.
Why, because you're getting fired, love?
Probably. Note that on the back of the photo are the words, Photo 2. Even I know that means it was taken at 2 PM on October the 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says, Photo 2. Photo 2? The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd?
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't this photo be photo 1 if there was only one photo? Order! Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright.
exactly what we said.
This evidence shows that not one but two people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only one data and one photo, to use words correctly. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Shut up. Only someone with access, the security lady herself.
Bit incriminating of yourself.
You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means two people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help! Huh? Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Humph! Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper? Something the matter, Miss Oldbag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something.
Convenient.
Yes. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai. Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. Sigh, I see. Just like me for real, Your Honor. The other person. Every day, after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day.
Well, I think we need to prod that.
Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny, I've only just remembered it. Right, anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this.
Agreed.
Okay. Yes, you do that. You also do that.
Hold it right there.
Well, who in the heck was in that photo you erased? Humph, a fanboy. Fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys. Real freaks if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. What was there that day? Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words.
Yep.
Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. Ah, yes, we saw that.
Yes, we did.
There's that damnable step ladder in the background. It leads outside and, well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain? I told you they were freaks. Oh, and... they're kids. Children. Whippersnappers. Kids? So, on the photo that you erased, it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What?!
Yeah, that's not going to do well for our case, is it?
Let me get this straight. You saw two people pass by the gate on the way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh yes, well we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. Can't bring myself to care. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I'd think. It's quite heavy.
Yes, but you say that?
What if it was a bunch of kids in the Steel Samurai costume? We can't rule out that possibility. I mean, the boy was there, that makes him a suspect.
It does indeed.
And they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. That chance will be a fine thing. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight. were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest.
I mean, I have to say, I do feel so sorry for Will Powers, because, like, literally, he hurts his foot, / his ankle, he goes for a nap. Next thing he knows, when he wakes up, his colleague's been murdered and he's been blamed for murder.
Well, at least he got to have steak that day. That's one good thing. But where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. Sniff. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick! What are we going to do? First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. So no accusing the judge, you got it?
Yes, no accusing the judge. Sadly, I don't think we can accuse the child either.
That was my plan A.
There is someone else that I think we can target. With a lot more strength than perhaps they appear to have. Indeed.
The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim.
Quite rightly.
It's stupid and also wrong. There is another person who could have committed this crime.
Exactly.
It's time for Plan B. Order. Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. I would hope not. So, who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder?
The security lady, obviously.
Plan B. For Bag. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew that morning's injury occurred. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag. What? Whippersnapper?
I mean, we are both jumping the shark in that there is one other person who theoretically could have been in that suit. But I'm sure Nick will get to that thought process a little bit later in the case.
She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume. Then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Well, why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Fantastic basic logic right there. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby! That's not canon, it's Sherlock Holmes. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time.
I will take that.
Oh, so you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there, do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way.
Yeah, press it further. No way in hell are we giving Granny a break.
Yeah, the very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a subject in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? Why would I hurt him?
That is the flaw in the case, but yeah, as is the case, Will Powers doesn't have a motive either.
No hard feelings, I hope. Don't hold a grudge for the rest of the series or anything. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy! It was the boy, I tell you, the boy! He was only a grade schooler, though, as you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds, tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it be nice to the kids and mean to your elders day, whippersnapper? I have proof. Huh?
We do actually have proof on this one.
You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder?
The spear itself.
The murder weapon was the samurai spear. That very spear is shown here in this photo. How could the boy have taken the spear? It's impossible. I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The windbag. Speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness. Miss Windy, what was her name?
We'll take anything to get the extra day. Although I do think that Oldbag's going to push a little bit further.
Wait a second! I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me. I'm talking. Oh, great. Stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about?
Yeah.
By whom? Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. Hallelujah. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free.
Oh.
Ah, potential witnesses, Rich.
And also potential murderers.
Indeed. Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. I vote Tory every year. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honour. Witness the power of the Oldbag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. My lips were sealed. Okay, yeah, that's a fact.
Hold it.
Yes, who were these other people? Well, the director and the producer, for starters. The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director?
It's very true.
Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So, where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime, and they had a meeting after that. Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? There was a Studio 2? Well, if you look at the guide map, idiot, backer,
Yeah.
you go through the gate and go all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but...
Yeah, want to take a break. I think we're done today.
Your Honour, we have learned there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and, some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defence's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. He mad. He's seething. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Thank God for that, we survived today.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me. Ah, really? It's nothing. Grin. Oh, or should I sniff? We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was in that Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been old Windbag?
Doubt it, but got us a day.
Indeed. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying some time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers. The dark age of the law has begun.
It has indeed.
Okay, let's get down to the studios and to business. Right, we'll be back to visit you soon. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Sneef.